Today we're going to talk about water. Water is an element, and without it, nothing would be alive. There's a deeper aspect of that, and I want to talk a little bit about that today. I have a very special relationship with water, and I always have. I've lived near water for 30 years, literally on the side of a running stream or river, and there's almost always a bridge that I have to cross to get to my house. I almost feel out of place if I don't have running water near me. One of the things that happened to me when I was writing the book is some information came through about water, and it coincides with me going to Standing Rock, which was an amazing gathering. I know a lot of people thought it was just a protest, but really it was a ceremony from tribes, indigenous tribes from all over the world came to this place, this big gateway, energetic gateway. A very spontaneous move on my part to go to Standing Rock. And before I left in Brattleboro, Vermont, we had a really large water ceremony for Standing Rock, and people brought water from all over the world. And so I had put it in a jar and carried it with me to go to Standing Rock. And when I got there, I wasn't really sure exactly why I was there, except for because I couldn't protest, so I just wanted to support the indigenous people of this country and of the world, and to try to stop the oil pipeline. That was the original intention. As I spent a couple of weeks there, I realized there was something else happening, and I realized something else was happening there. It was a moment of when the water was to be reset on the planet. And at that moment, I didn't really know that's what was going on. I had snuck off to the river by myself, and I sat by the river, and I asked the river if I could put the water in the river, and the river told me yes. Also, it told me at that moment that not to worry about the black snake, which was the pipeline, the oil pipeline, and that's not why we were all there. We were there to reset the water. And so I didn't really know what that meant at the time, but I was like, okay, all right, there's something bigger happening here. And so I put the water into the river, from all over the world. And that was connecting the water from all over the world to this place. And water holds consciousness. Water is life. That's how we birth everything on this planet. Without water, nothing would be alive. Nothing. And so that same day, I had you weren't allowed to play, as a white person, you weren't allowed to play a drum in the ceremony. And I totally respected that and understood why they chose to do that. But later that day, I've been made friends with a Cherokee tattoo artist in Texas. And he asked me if I'm a sound healer, and he asked me if I would do a session with him. And I said, well, we need to go outside this ceremony area. So we walked out to a field with tall grass. And I started playing my drum and singing, and I realized that there was a really big gateway there. And so I sang, and when you sing on a gateway, you're able to hook into the toroidal field of the planet, and that energy comes through you and really can create awakening moments and flush out many limiting beliefs. So I started singing, and I really just thought at first I was doing a session with this guy who, was kind of a city guy. He was a native man, but really had never taken part in any ceremonies. So I started playing the drum, and then when I got done, I looked up in the sky, and I could see this violet grid swirling around. And the guy I was with opened up his eyes, and he was like, "Do you see that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I see it." And he's like, "What is that?" I'm like, I don't know. It's the matrix. It's the toroidal field, And at that point, it was really a healing session for the whole planet. As a white man doing this kind of work, praying for the earth, I really wanted to bring everyone together in unity. And in that moment I was, and so was this Cherokee man. And just a few minutes later, all these horses came and stood around us in this big, beautiful field with this really tall grass. And then in a few minutes, thousands of people started walking towards us, and then past us towards Turtle Island. And there was a big action there, a big protest. And so that was it for me. After that I went to the action, and was a peacekeeper there, and spent some time helping people flush their eyes from the tear gas. And so I left after that night, or the next day I left, and that was why I was supposed to be there. And so I didn't really know what the meaning of the water was being reset until I started writing Within Us. I wrote a chapter on elemental patterns, and what came through me as I was writing over and over, it didn't come through at first, but in the last 2 or 3, I rewrote it like 30 times, but in the last 2 or 3 times, what came through was the water in that moment at Standing Rock, with all of the indigenous people from all over the world in ceremony. Had reset the water. And that's a big moment, right? And what does that mean? So I'm going to tell you what it means if you've gone this far with me. Everything that is born in this paradigm, on this earth, in this universe, begins with a crystalline structure, like an idea, an inspiration, a spark. Okay? It's a spark of life. So everything from a plant to a cucumber to a baby to this planet starts with a spark, an inspiration, a spark of feminine and masculine in the neutrality of love. And that creates a crystalline structure, okay? That's energetic, and it is multidimensional. And so unity consciousness, the paradigm that we're moving into, was created thousands of years ago. And that was created within a divine union. From there, it has grown and gathered strength, right? So when that paradigm was to be anchored into the earth and become a tangible reality, it had to come through water and start a pattern, an elemental pattern. Everything comes through water. When we say water is life, that's what it means. It means that everything comes through, energetically comes through water first, and then it can manifest in this reality. And so Standing Rock was that moment of the water resetting. And so the thing is the water is reset in a future timeline. Okay? Although it is part of our reality here, there's many different parallel realities. And so it hasn't fully manifested in this reality, but it is now. It's coming. And it's exponential. It's happening very quickly. And so it starts with water, and then it goes through all the elements, and it keeps, and we're in fire right now, okay? Goes water, wind, fire, earth. And it goes like this, like a spiral, yeah? And every time it makes a turn, it goes a little bit faster. And that's where we're at right now. And the thing with water is that it holds all memories, all karma. It holds everything in this reality. And so when we fully come into the unity paradigm, everything is going to be reset. All the memories, we'll remember things, but like all the karmic stuff, everything that was created in the separation reality, the separation paradigm, is forgotten. It's a fresh start. Bam, just like that. And that's where we're headed. Hey y'all, I had to switch locations because the wind got really strong down in that gorge. And me and Lily climbed down there, and I realized climbing up that it was pretty sketchy, and I didn't want to go back down there. It seemed a little dangerous, and honestly it was pretty fun to climb some rocks. Taking the leap. Anyways, I wanted to just read a little passage from my book Within Us about water. The book Within Us, All Things Awakening, All Things Reality. If you want to ever know a little bit more in detail about what's going on right now on the planet, buy a book. Okay, here we go. Life begins in water. Without it, life would not exist. Water is the neutrality of love. All patterns are born into the tangible physical realm through the element of water. Water is the essence of motherly love. In the womb, she insulates the origin seed, the fetus, keeping them safe as they begin to grow. Water is where the manifestation process takes root. It is through water's benevolence that life is supported and created. From a neutral and receptive state, water witnesses reality objectively, free of illusions, acting as a constant mirror. She clearly reflects reality. Whatever vibration we emit, water emulates. Understanding the neutrality of water is essential to fully fathom what we are. All life are vibrational sponges. Like a mother, water intends to nourish and support growth while simultaneously granting us freedom to be spiritually sovereign. Water plays a vital role in storing and transmitting information within all living organisms. On a cellular level, water serves as a fundamental medium for exchange and processing information. She ensures the seamless flow of nutrients, removal of waste, and communication between molecules, all of which is essential for proper cellular function and maintaining homeostasis. Whatever thoughts we have, whatever vibration we are around all the time, the water takes that on. But there is a fundamental vibration that it holds for all of reality. Yeah, so, and that is our true nature. That fundamental vibration is love. Yeah, just like the mother's fundamental vibration for her child is love. Right? There's nothing stronger than a mother's love for her child. That's innate and fundamental in that bond. Yeah. And so how does water play a role in this paradigm shift? And how does water play a role in our lives in all of this? So when I talk about the reset that happened at Standing Rock, what I'm talking about is there was a spark. This is the conceptualization of the unity paradigm being birthed, into the womb of the Earth Mother, right? And so water takes that information, that encoded information, all the lineage and everything that is coming through with this unity paradigm vibration, and births it into, is birthing it into, already is birthed into the earth paradigm, the center of the earth. Yeah, and now the thing is, even though it happened in that moment at Standing Rock, that doesn't mean that it automatically changes us. Well, it did, but very subtly, okay? Just like a fetus needs to grow, I'm just using a fetus as an example, okay? But it's basically the same thing. Just as a fetus is birthed and conceptualized in the womb with the masculine and feminine energies, it's the same thing that's happening on the earth. Yeah, it's that spark, and then it goes out through water. The water is fundamental at a very early part of life. Yeah, and it's vibrational. And so when the conceptualization happened at Standing Rock, and the new paradigm, unity paradigm, started to grow in the tangible reality. Before that, we could talk about it, and we knew, like people talk about Christ consciousness, it's basically the same thing. But instead of like mentally talking about it, or using our intellect, instead of mentally talking about it or intellectualizing it, it starts to grow in our body too. And how this happens is the actual mathematical structure of water started to take on the unity vibration, which is a 5D vibration. It's a much higher frequency than we're living in, okay? And as that grows through the water, and now through all of the elements, it becomes a pattern, right? Just like a cycle, just like the seasons, or the sun or the moon rising and falling, right? It becomes a cycle. And how that works is every time it goes through the elemental cycle and comes back to water, it grows exponentially and gets stronger. Yeah, because it's coming through all of the things. This frequency is coming through not just humans, but all of nature, all the animals, everything. I mean, this is big. And because this already happened, the reset already happened, there's no going back. There's nothing that anyone can do on this planet that will stop it. And honestly, everything that's happening is exponentially bringing us closer to unity, even though it seems like the chaos that we are experiencing, it feels like the end of the world, right? I mean, we're like, let me take my glasses off. It feels like the end of the world. And it is in some ways, but not like how we think it is. And so for this reason, this is hopeful, right? It's good. It's good stuff. And also, the best thing that we can do, in some ways, in this moment, is to really start reconnecting with our waters inside of us. Reconnect with the water running on the side of a river, and really start working with water in this way, because water holds a lot of the key frequencies that we need. In fact, it is part of how we are taking these huge evolutionary timeline jumps. It's through the water that creates these really amazing hydrogen bonds where information flows, right? And then that, and on a cellular level, begins to turn on DNA codes that we need, that were implanted into us many at the inception of this version of the human species. Water is consciousness. Water is the neutrality of love. Water is the mother. Water is God. At this time and this moment, it's important to create relationship with water, a conscious relationship. Obviously, we are water. Everything is water. Nothing on this planet would be alive or animated without water. Water holds consciousness. You know, water is the, in many ways, water is the bridge between us and the universal mind, the universal heart. Yeah. So I'm going to leave you with that. So I recorded some water, and I'm going to play it right after I'm done here. And I invite you to just listen to the water, and I'll have a little bit of guided meditation with it. But just listen to the water and connect with it, yeah? And I invite you to go out in nature and do it for yourself. And charge your water. Make sure that you're connecting with your water before you're drinking it. Giving it, sending intentional messages like love and gratitude. And listening to your water too. I know that's not something that everyone does, and I didn't know that was even possible until Standing Rock. And okay, well, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the other side. Hello. Take a moment to adjust the audio if needed. Find yourself in a comfortable place. Relax your shoulders and jaw. Take a few deep breaths in. And just sit back and listen to the water. Imagining the water is flowing down through the top of your head, down your spine, and out down into the earth, allowing the water to clean and reset your body, allowing any thoughts to flow through the water